Hi guys, my name is Melissa, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a topic called write simple equations. So thinking algebraically requires us to write a simple equation or a group of equations, and so it can help us solve multiple wide range of questions and that involve, first of all, one equation with one unknown, one equation with two unknowns where we have two variables, or we can have two equations with two unknowns, two equations with three unknowns, or a group of equations. And so in algebra, the multiplication symbol. So usually it's not written like this. So for multiplication, we usually write this. But then for the symbol x, where we indicate a variable, we usually write it like this, and some people write it like this, but it does look different from the multiplication x. And so these x is also used as a variable to indicate an unknown in equations. So now we're going to look at example 1. And so in example 1, 2 peaches and 12 apples cost $14.60. 6 peaches and 4 apples cost $18.20. So we want to know the price of an apple and a price of a peach. So now we have two unknowns and two equations here. So the unknown is going to be peaches and apples. So of course we can use x and y, but oftentimes we use variables that kind of indicate what the unknown is. So for peaches, we're going to say P for peaches, and apple, A for apple. So we have 2p plus 12a equals 14.6. And we have 6p plus 4a equals 18.2. And so we're going to change one equation. So we're going to rewrite this equation as 6p. So we multiply 3. So we need to multiply 3 to everything. So 36a is 6p plus 36a equals 14.6 times 3, which is 43.8. And so now we're going to subtract. That gives us 0p plus 0p minus 32a equals 18.2 minus 43.8, which is negative 25.6. And so we know that 32a is equal to 25.6. So a is going to be 25.6 divided by 32. And that is going to be 0.8. And since we know that a is 0.8, we can now plug it into any equation. I'm going to plug it into the first one. So 2p plus 12 times 0.8 equals 14.6. And so 2p is going to equal 14.6 minus 12 times 0.8. And so 2p is going to be 14.6 minus 9.6. And so 2p is going to be 5 and p is 2.5. So we know that an apple costs $0.8 and a peach costs $2.5. Now we're going to look at example 2. So there are 160 white and blue balls, 180 blue and yellow balls, and 170 white and yellow balls. Find the number of balls for each color. So now we have 3 variables. We have white balls, blue balls, and yellow balls. So we know that W plus B equals 160. And then we know B plus Y equals 180. And W plus Y equals 170. And so, since we want to combine all of them together, we have 2 W's, 2 B's, and 2 Y's involved. And that's going to be 160 plus 180 plus 170, which is equal to 510. And this can be rewritten as 2 times W plus B plus Y, which is equal to 510. And so we know that W plus B plus Y is 510 divided by 2, which is 255. Now, since we know that W plus B plus Y equals 255, and we know W plus B equals 160, W plus B is going to be 255 minus Y. Or rewriting that, we know that Y equals 255 minus 160 for W plus B. So that is going to be 95. So Y is going to be 95. Then we know that since B plus Y is 180, Y is 95, B is going to be 180 minus 95, so that's going to be 85. And then we know that W plus Y is 170, and Y is 95. W is going to be 170 minus 95, which is going to be 75. And so we know that for blue balls, we have B, which is 85 balls. We have 95 balls that are yellow. And we have 75 white balls. Now we'll take a look at example 3. The sum of Michelle's, her mother's, and her grandmother's ages is 100. Her grandmother is twice as old as her mother, and her mother is 28 years older than Michelle. How old is her grandmother? So Michelle's age is going to be M. And so so the sum of Michelle, her mother's, and her grandmother's ages is 100. Her grandmother is twice as old as her mother, and the mother is 28 years older than Michelle. So the mother is going to be M plus 28. And then the grandmother is going to be twice as old as the mom. So it's going to be 2 times M plus 28, which is equal to 2M plus 56. And so Michelle's age plus the mom's age plus the grandmother's age is going to be 100. Now we know that that is equal to 4M plus 84. And so 4m is going to be equal to 100 minus 84, which is 16. So Michelle is going to be 4 years old. Now we're looking for the age of the grandmother, which is 2m plus 56. And so that is going to be 2 times 4 plus 56, which is 56 plus 8, which gives us 64. So the grandmother is going to be 64 years old. Now let's take a look at example 4. The sum of two numbers is 189. One number is a multiple of 13, the other number is a multiple of 17. Find the two numbers. So we have x and y as our numbers. The sum is going to be 189. One number is a multiple of 13, the other number is a multiple of 17. So one number is a multiple of 13. So instead of writing the numbers, we're going to write we're going to let the first number be m and the second number be n, just like the solution. So I'll just go over what the solution says. So I think the solution kind of phrased this in a confusing way. But instead of saying that the first number is going to be m and the second number is going to be n, m and n aren't the numbers themselves. They're like, we just use m and n to express the multiple part. So m is going to be how many 13s there are, and n is going to be how many 17s there are. So 13m plus 17n. So this indicates a multiple of 13, and 17n indicates a multiple of 17. And these two are going to be our numbers, 13m and 17n. And so added, those are going to be 189. And then we know that 13m is then 189 minus 17n. And so m is going to equal 189 minus 17n divided by 13. So we know that 189 minus 17n is a multiple of 13. And so when n is 5, this was done by guessing and checking, so you can start from 1 and then get to 5. And you know that when n is 5, 189 minus 17 times 5 is going to be 189 minus 85. So that gives us 104. And 104 is a multiple of 13, because when divided, that gives us 8. And so that tells us that m is equal to 8. And so the number is going to be 13m. So that's going to be 13 times 8, which is 104. And since 13m is 104, 17n is going to be 189 minus 104, which is equal to 85. And so the numbers are going to be 85 and 104. Those are the two numbers. Now let's take a look at example 5. A school librarian bought 30 books for a total of $130. A storybook cost $4, while a science book and a math book cost $6 and $5 respectively. How many books in each category did she buy? So we have 3 variables, a storybook. So a storybook is going to be A, the variable. Science book is going to be B, and a math book is going to be C. Then we have 30 books in total, so A plus B plus C is 30. Then we know that storybook is $4, so 4A, which is the cost to buy a number of storybooks. And then science book is $6, so we have 6B. So that's the cost we need to buy B books of science books. And then each math book costs $5, so we have 5C. That's the cost needed to purchase a C number of math books. And the total cost is going to be $130. And so now we have two equations, and we're going to try to eliminate one unknown. So we're going to multiply 4 to the first equation. And so that gives us 4A plus 4B plus 4C equals 120. So subtracted, we can eliminate the variable A. So we have 2B plus C equals 10. Now we have 2B plus C equals 10. And so that gives us two possible answers. And since 2B plus C equals 10, one possible answer is B equals C, C equals 4, and A equals 23. Or another possible answer is B equals 2, C equals 6, and A equals 22. So this gives us two solutions. So we can say that either the librarian bought 23 storybooks, 3 science books, and 4 math books, or the librarian bought 22 storybooks, 2 science books, and 6 math books. So to figure out which one is the solution, we would need additional information. And based on the information given in this question, we can have two possible solutions. So now we're going to look at problem 1. So it says, find 5 consecutive numbers whose sum is 465. So I'll give you guys about 2 minutes to solve this problem, and then I'll be going over the solution. And so we're gonna go and find the solution to this problem. And so we have 5 consecutive numbers. And so we're going to say that the first number of the 5 numbers is going to be 8. Then since it's consecutive, the second number is going to be 8 plus 1. Third number is going to be 8 plus 2. Fourth number is going to be 8 plus 3. And the last number is going to be 8 plus 4. And the sum of all of these can be written as 5a plus 10. And so 5a plus 10 is going to equal to 465. And so 5a is 455. And so a is going to be 91. And so that means that we start with 91, and our consecutive numbers are going to be 92, 93, 94, and 95. Now we'll look at the next problem. So a teacher has a bag of candy, and if she gives every student in her class 4 pieces of candy, she's going to be left with 48 pieces. And if she gives every student 6 pieces of candy, she needs 8 more pieces of candy. How many students does she give the sweets to? So we're going to say that the number of students is the variable x. So if she gives every student 4 pieces of candy, that would be 4x, and 4x would represent the amount of candy that she gives out, because it's 4 pieces of candy per x number of students. And so four x plus 48, since she's left with 48, is going to be the same as giving each student 6 pieces of candy, so 6x, and needing 8 more, so 6x minus 8. And so since those two are equal, we set up a system of equations. And so now we're going to combine like terms, which means we're going to push x to one side and push the numbers to the other side. And so 48 plus 8 is going to go on the left side, so that's going to be 56. And on the right side, we have 6x minus 4x, which is 2x. So we know that x is 56 divided by 2, which is going to be 28. So that means that she has 28 students in her class. Now we have problem 3. So on March 1st, $1 US could be exchanged for 1.45 Singapore dollars. On the same day, 1,000 Thai baht could buy 50 Singapore dollars. How many US dollars could 29,000 Thai baht buy on that day? So $1 US could be exchanged for 1.5 Singapore dollar. And on the same day, 1,000 Thai baht could buy 50 Singapore dollars. So that would be 1,000 Thai baht. So I'll just write bahts. And so that means that 1 Singapore dollar was equal to 1,000 over 50 baht, which is equal to 20 baht. So now the information that we have is that 1 Singapore dollar was 20 baht and 1 US dollar was 1.45 Singapore dollars. And so 1.45 Singapore dollar then, after calculations, is going to give us 29 bahts. And we know that 1.45 Singapore dollar is 1 USD. So that translates to 1 USD can buy 29 bahts. Now the question asks, how many US dollars could buy 29,000 Thai bahts? So to get 29,000 Thai bahts, we multiplied 1,000. So that tells us we also do that here. So 1,000 US dollars can buy 29,000 Thai bahts. So we'll say that it was 1,000 US dollars. Now we're going to look at the next problem. 4 footballs and 4 volleyballs cost $240. 3 footballs and 5 volleyballs cost $234. And now we're going to look for the cost of each for football and for volleyball. And so football is going to be denoted as F and volleyball is going to be V. So based on the information given, 4F plus 4V is 240. And so F is going to be the cost of a football and V is going to be the cost of a volleyball. And 3 football and 5 volleyballs cost $234. And now we're going to try to eliminate one variable. So since we can't multiply one to get the other, we're just going to change both equations. So I want to eliminate the variable F. So I'm going to make this 12F. So to get 12F, we multiply 3 to this equation. 12F plus 12B equals 240 times 3. So that is going to be 720. And for the second equation, we multiply 4. So 12F plus 20V equals 234 times 4, which is going to be 936. And so to eliminate the variable F, we're going to subtract, and that gives us negative 8V equals negative 216. So V is equal to 216 divided by 8. And so V is going to be 27. Since V is 27, we can now plug that into any of the equations above to find F. So 4F is equal to 4F plus 4 times 27 is equal to 240. So 4F is 240 minus 4 times 27. So that is 240 minus 108 And so that is going to be 132. And so since 4f is 132, f is 132 divided by 4, which is going to be 33. And so a football is $33, and a volleyball is $27. Now we're going to move on to problem 5. There is a total of 62 tennis balls, and a long tube can hold 5 balls. A short tube can hold 3 balls. How many long tubes are there? So we're going to say that the number of long tubes is going to be x, and the number of short tubes is going to be y. Then a long tube can hold 5 balls, so 5x, and a short tube can hold 3 balls, so 5x plus 3y is going to be a total of 62 tennis balls. And so we know that 5x is 62 minus 3y. So x is equal to 62 minus 3y over 5. And so one possible answer is that if y is 4, then x is going to be 62 minus 3 times 4 divided by 5. And so it's going to be 62 minus 12 over 5, which gives us 50 over 5. So x is going to be equal to 10. And y is going to be equal to 4. And so we found that y is equal to 4 because 62 minus 3y, based on this, must be a multiple of 5. Right? So what this tells us is that 62 minus 3y is a multiple of 5, since we divide it by 5, and it should be a whole number, since we can't have like 0.5 tennis balls. So that's why, since it has to be a whole number, it should be a multiple of 5. Now we have two solutions for this problem. So if y is 9, then 62 minus 3 times 9 over 5 is going to be x, and so x is going to be 62 minus 27 over 5, and so that is going to be 35 over 5, which is 7. So if y is 9, then x is going to be 7. So we have two answers here. And so it asks how many long tubes are there, and the number of long tubes is x. So we can have either 10 or 7 based on how many short tubes we have. Now we're going to solve one more problem for today's class. And so it says, a farmer has 145 chickens and rabbits. 410 legs are counted altogether. So how many chickens does the farmer have, and how many rabbits does the farmer have? So we can solve this problem by using something called solve by assuming, which is what we did in the previous video. But in today's video, we're going to solve by using variables. So now we have chickens as C and rabbits as R. So C is going to be the number of chickens and R is going to be the number of rabbits that we have. So C plus R is going to be 145 animals in total. And for legs, chickens have 2 legs, so 2C, and rabbits have 4 legs, so 2C plus 4R is going to be 400 legs in total. And so now we're going to try to eliminate one variable. So we're going to manipulate the first equation to get 2C plus 2R equals 145 times 2, which is 290. So I want to eliminate the variable C. So we're going to get 2R equals 300, 2R equals 120. So that tells us that R is equal to 60. And because R is 60, if we plug it back into the first equation, C is equal to 145 minus R. So 145 minus 60 is going to be 95. And so that tells us that we have 60 rabbits and 95 chickens. Oh, it was 85, sorry. Not 95, 85 chickens. And so that is going to be our answer. And that was it for today's class, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.